All right. Shalom, shalom. First of all, I just want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakrash. I want to give double honors to Apostle Green Millstone, who rule well and teach well. Mighty shalom to all the listeners, believers, the Akim and Aqua, staying rooted in this faith and truth, day in and day out, pushing the will of the Lord. This is the brother Iowa from the Gary Branch of Great Millstone. Lord willing, come back and get another edifying video. And today we're going to be going back to the basics because we have to understand that we've been sitting here on a mission, man. We've been sitting here, yes, to learn a lesson, all right? We've been sitting here, yes, to correct ourselves and come back into the Lord. But you also have to understand that when you're going through these things, the Lord is also requiring you to do the work, right? That's a part of it, man. Okay, so we're going to start with John 21 and 15. It says the love motivation. It says, so when they had died, Yahushua said to Simon, Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He have said unto him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my lambs. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said to him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? And Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things that thou that I love thee. And Yahushua saith unto him, feed my sheep. All right, so the Lord requires us to feed his sheep, man. All right, we've been sent out here as watchmen of Israel to give them warning from the Lord, man. All right, so that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. We're supposed to be giving that warning, man. Telling them to get right, man. Bending them to the marriage so that they can come back and get right with the Lord. Understand that those doors of mercy are open right now. All right, and that the things that we've been doing is not appeasing the Lord, man. So in order to appease the Lord, we have to kiss the Son, least he be mad at us, man. So we have to stop doing the wickedness that we've been doing. Stop living the way we've been living, right? Because these things are Salakia, love underneath the weather. These things are ways of death, and we understand that the Lord is a way of life. Okay, so bear with me one moment. Okay, so with that, we're gonna start and get the book of Jeremiah 3. All right, it says Yahweh invites repentance. All right, and that's what the Lord is doing, man. He sent us out here to bid you guys and us to the marriage, man. The Lord has turned his face back towards us, and he's given us that opportunity to make our abode with him, man. But we have to understand that the Lord has requirements in order to get back in his good grace, man. Okay, like the brothers was talking about the other day at camp, love is a conditional thing, man. Right, even when you get into a relationship with somebody, you're not going to do things that are going to irritate them, no. All right, but you're going to do things that please them and things that they like. So it's the same thing with the Lord. There's certain things that he wants us to do and certain things he doesn't want us to do, man. All right, and that's what this whole scripture is going into, man. Okay, these are the ways of life, the things that we were supposed to be doing, but what do? We turned back and we were going into wickedness, and these things made the Lord mad, and it turned him to wrath. And that's why he turned his face against us. All right. But now that he's turning his face back towards us and those doors of mercy are open, and the Lord, our big brother Yahushua, made that ultimate sacrifice for us, we've been given the opportunity to do what's right, man. Now we understand that we are in these fleshly bodies, and we're not going to get everything right now. All right. But we're rehearsing the righteous acts. All right. And doing the things that please the Lord. Okay, so it says Jeremiah 3 and 15. Actually, look, I started 14. It says, turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you. All right, in a marriage, you have to understand that the wife, just like in coming to America, he said, what do you like? He said, I like what you like, my Lord. All right, and we have to be a good wife unto the Lord. Okay, we have to do the things that are pleasing to him, the things that he likes, man. Okay. You can't just be out here doing what you want to do, because look what happened, man. We understand this is the true definition. We're seeing that the grass ain't green on the other side. Okay. It says, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you into Zion. All right. So everybody's not going to make it back on the first go around, man. All right. But the Lord has given certain men faith. He's giving certain men the spirit to do this thing, man. Right, to teach. Right, it's certain men that he's already pretty much said that was going to be a part of the elect that are going to make it out in the first go around. All right, but then you also have the 1/3. Okay, so certain people, the remnant, that's going to make it, man. But see, 2/3, you're going to have to be reborn through the loins of the elect. He's not taking everybody out of what's it called, out this time like he did in Egypt, because everybody doesn't want to do what's right. So the Lord isn't going to what's it called, bring in a 2/3 into the kingdom of heaven this go around. All right, it says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, because you have a lot of pastors out here that the Lord did not send. You have a lot of prophets out here that sent themselves, right, or been hirelings. All right, and they're preaching the wrong thing, man. They having people end up going to ditches, man. They're deceiving Israel. They're not telling them things according to the Lord Spirit. They're not reading them out of the book, right? But they're giving them precepts of men, right? Teaching them the way that they've been hired to teach them. Tell them that it's okay to sin. Tell them that it's okay to do these things, that the Lord will just forgive them. All right, but that's not what the scripture says, man. We understand that we're about to embark on a crazy journey to enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? And if you're not having rule over your spirit and doing the things that please the Lord, right, you're not going to make it, man. That's why it's so important to, it says, matter of fact, let's hit it real quick. It's a lot. Bear with me. Ecclesiastes 5:7 states, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. All right, let's break this down. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, because you have a lot of people who are in the mindset of, well, we've been hearing about this our whole life. My grandparents heard about this their whole life, all right, and nothing's happened yet. Or I've been doing all these type of sins and I've been getting away with it and I haven't been punished yet. All right. So they believe that the Lord isn't going to do good nor evil, man. They believe that they continue to live in these lifestyles. All right. And what happens? They always do the same thing over and over and over again. But then when they get into their elderly ages and they have nothing else to give, now they want to turn to the Lord. Now they want to get right. But no, the Lord told us to come in the days of our youth. The Lord said, put not off day to day, man. Why? It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. Right. And with the things that we're seeing, especially once again, going back to the main point, you've been made a watchman. And what are you supposed to be watching for? Prophecy. Watch for what the Lord said, measure the time diligently in itself. All right. So we're watching to see all of these different prophecies that the scriptures have told us to watch for. Right. Because we understand that through this measurement, we could tell that according around the time the Lord is going to be returning. Okay. And so with the things that we've been seeing now, we understand that these are those days. We're in those last days, man. You can't make this stuff up. You've been seeing nation against nation. You're seeing pestilence. We're seeing famine. Right. All of these different things are creeping up. They're growing. Now, is it full-fledged? Not in the town near you yet. But keyword is yet. It's going to happen. Right. But while you have liberty, while you have mercy, you should be doing the things that appease the Lord, man. Doing the things that make the Lord happy, so that you may have a fighting chance to survive in the day. Okay, because if you don't have the covering of the Lord, right, we understand, just like the back in the book of Exodus, where he said the blood on your doorpost, but we understand that blood on your doorpost now is the mind. Okay, that mark of exemption, that the why. Right, if you don't have that, it's the same thing gonna be like back then. It says slay them all. You're gonna be a part of that, man. It says, in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. And what is their security, man? All of the things that you put before the Lord, whether it be money, whether it be your goods, whether it be Esau, Edom, whether it be weaponry, all of these different things. If you're putting any of these things before the Lord, you're putting your trust in any of these different things, that is your sense of security, right? But you have to understand that that sense of security is a false sense of security, right? It's really just deceiving you, because when that day happens, you're going to realize that all of these different things that you're putting before the Lord can't stand against the Lord. And the only way true security you could have had was him. All right, and another important thing, Salaki, I know I'm going kind of fast. My bad. Let me slow down. Another important thing is the name. Right? A lot of people think that you don't have to have the name. You can call the Lord this, you can call the Lord that. But the Lord, let me see. Hold on, let's get it. Acts 4 and 17. Matter of fact, pull up my thing. My bad, 4 and 12. It says, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Right? So there's no other name. Okay. You can't sit here and call the Lord anything else what you want to call him and expect him to save you, man. If you walking down the street and somebody calls you a whole name that you don't know, right, you're not even going to give them the time of day. All right, so you giving your the glory to another, you putting your praise into another, that's not going to help you in that day. Okay. So it's important that you get the names, man. It's important that you pray to these names. It's important that you reverence these names, man, because the name is important. All right. Okay. But let's go back and finish this up. Go to our next one. It says in Jeremiah 3 and 15, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And that's what the Lord has done, man. He's given certain men the ability to break down these scriptures. He's given certain men insight on what these parables mean. All right, so he sent out pastors according to his mind, fishers of men, right, to give you warning of what you're doing wrong, to give you warning of what's to come, man, and how to possibly save yourself out of that situation. Okay. But you have a lot of people out here, like we said again, or I said again, you have a lot of people out here who've not been sent, but they sent themselves. Right. But we understand all these different things was put up and sanctioned by the Lord, man. Right. These things were stumbling blocks. All right. But if it was meant for you to be, the Lord will give you what's it called, the truth, man. Okay. So let's get Zeke going back to that pastors according to his mind. Right. It says Ezekiel 3 and 1. It says, moreover, he said it to me, son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll. And what is the roll, man? It's the scriptures, man. All right. The Apocrypha, the Old Testament, the New Testament, all of it's the roll. It says, and go and speak it to the house of Israel. Right. So when you first came into this truth, the Lord gave you that understanding. And we're still getting that understanding, man. All right. Every day is a learning process. But the Lord gave you these talents. The Lord gave you these opportunities not to hoard it for yourself, but no, to do the duties of a watchman, to do the duties that the Lord has called you to do. Right? It says, go and speak to the house of Israel. So I open my mouth and he calls me to eat that roll. And he said it to me, son of man, cause thy belly to eat and fill thy bowls or bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And it is as honey, man. When you first came into the truth, hearing you were Israelite, hearing that you were the top nation, right? Hearing all these good things, right? It was sweetness, but then you had to understand the bitter of it, man. Understanding the world that you're in, understanding what's required of you, man. Understanding that change is required, man. Understanding the state of your your nation, the state of your nation, man. Okay. He said, and he said unto me, son of man, go and get thee into the house of Israel and speak my words unto them. Right? These aren't our words. These are the Lord's words. And that's why everything that we bring out according to the scriptures. Right? Everybody wants, how do you feel? It's not about how we feel, man. It's what the Lord wants. Okay. It says, I'm gonna jump down to Ezekiel 3 and 17. It says, son of man, I have made thee a lot. Matter of fact, no, we could do that. We just come back. It says, son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word in my mouth and give them warning from me. Right. And this is what we're doing, man. We're out here on these highways and byways giving the warning, man. All right. You always want to call that person on the corner crazy in every movie who pretty much understood what was going on until they popped off. Then they started to realize that man wasn't so crazy. Right. And it's going to be the same thing with this, man. It says it's gonna be like in the days of Noah. You have to understand, back during the time of the days of Noah, everybody was doing the exact same thing they're doing now, right? And what was Noah doing? He was building the ark and prophesying, and nobody believed him. Everybody was scoffing him. They thought that man to be crazy, right? But it's okay. We're made fools for the Lord's sake, right? I'll be a fool. I don't care. But you're going to be the real fool when the Lord comes back and you have no cover. Lord will not be of that number, right? It says, and when I say unto the wicked that thou shalt surely die, right? But what are they going to die from, right? In the Christian church, the Lord loves all, man. It says they're already saved, right? They don't do no, they don't need to change. No, it says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, meaning telling him where he's going off, man. And with telling him where he's going off, also giving him the information on how to do better, man. All right. That's why we're out here in these highways and byways, man, to measure prophecy, but to also warn Israel, man, that the things that you've been doing, the Lord isn't happy with. Right? Change your ways. Because the Lord is about to come through and be what they say, the time for talking is over. It's gonna be straight belt. Right? It says to save his life. The same wicked man shall die as iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Right. So with this what's it called? Duty that the Lord has bestowed upon us, right? We have to do these things, man. Because if we don't do these things, now that blood is on our hands. Right? It says, yet if thou warn the wicked and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Right? And that's what I'm trying to do, man. I know that's what all the brothers are trying to do, man. We're trying to earn that spot on the chariot, man. Right? That's all we trying to do. Earn that spot on the chariot. And to do that, you have to do what the Lord required of thee. To do that, you have to do what the Lord told us to do, man. Right? That's why we're out here doing these things, man. My bad. Luke 14:23. It says, it says Luke 14:21. It says, so that servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly to the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and maimed and the halt and the blinded. Right? The Lord said he's not here for the righteous, he's here for the sick. And these are all the people that are sick, the ones that need help, man. The Lord said to his servant, right? And we're that servant. He said, go quickly into the streets and the lanes. Right? These are the highways and byways, man. Chief places of concourse. Right? And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Right? It says, for I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. Right? So the Lord is giving us a duty, man. We're supposed to be going out there and bidding the people to the marriage, man. Right? This is a beautiful thing. But see, people don't understand exactly what's been bestowed upon them, what's actually going on. All right, what it say? A lot of these people can't understand this good song, man. But it wasn't for them to understand. That's the beauty of it. So if you have the opportunity to understand, all right, you have to take full advantage of it, because everybody can't hear this beautiful music. Everybody can't understand this beautiful gospel. All right, what did the Lord say? Matter of fact, because he asked, why do you speak in parables? This is just a quick one. Matthew 13:13. Wait, no. It says, Matthew 13:13. It says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not. Matter of fact, I think it's up. He starts at 12. No, 10. It says, and the disciples came and said to him. Matter of fact, I'll put it on the screen for y'all. Let me just come back to this. It says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So not everybody's going to have this understanding of these things, man. All right. But everybody has to get the warning. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back because I just want to get that quick hit. And then we was at slot, bear with me. Hold on, no. Give me one moment. My bad. This is pretty much a part 2 to what we had just read, so I'll go straight to the point. Matthew 22:8, it says, then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. Right. And that's part of being that fisherman, man. You're bringing in the good and the bad, and then the Lord's going to do the sifting of who he wants to be there and who he doesn't, man. It says, so those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. See, it says, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, because you have to understand that the Lord created the guest list. He knows who's supposed to be there. Right. It says he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. Right. And he said unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servant, bid him hand and foot and take him away and cast him in the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. All right. So just because you are called doesn't mean that you're chosen. All right. Just because you start in this truth. Right. Don't think that you have a guaranteed seat on that chariot. All right. We understand that when you get called into this truth, now it's time to make your call and election sure. You have to endure to the end. You have to do the things that please the Lord. All right. It's a lot of requirements, man. Once again, love is conditional when it comes around here. Okay. And you can't creep in another way because you have to understand that the Lord is that door. He's the porter, man. He knows every sheep. He knows them all by name. He knows who's supposed to be there. He knows who's not. Okay. So I'm going to the next one. Luke. Why my caps lock on? Luke 7:32. It says Luke 7:32. It says 31. It says, and the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And to what are they like? It says, and they are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another, saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. And why have they not danced? Because they can't understand this beautiful song. These people can't fathom themselves being in rulership. These people can't fathom spiritual powers. These people can't fathom the fact that their oppressor is going to be done away with, let alone put into slavery. All right. It says, we have mourned to you, and you have not wept. Like this is their heaven. They're going to be joined into their oppressor, man. They don't understand the history of this thing. Okay. And that's just like us, man. Where are those children in the marketplace singing this beautiful song, singing this beautiful gospel? All right, because what's the beautiful part about it, man? Once again, that the Lord is coming back, that he's turned his face back towards us, that we're going to get the victory in the end, that our big brother Yahushua is coming back to crack the sky, save his people, and bomb our oppressors, man. Right, all these things this is a beautiful thing. This is a beautiful song, but only the 144,000 can understand this song, man. All right, everybody else, they're blinded. They're blinded by the God of this world, man. They're lost in the ways of the things that they put before their eyes, man. All right, and that's okay, man. Everybody has to feel a lot. You just want to be a part of that good side, man. Be a part of that good lot. So we got to do what we need to do in order to please the Lord, man. We got to do what we need to do nor to be a good watchman. So when the Lord comes back, he says, my good and faithful servant. That's what we want to hear. All right. Get straight to the point with this. It says Matthew 24:45. It says, who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, and to give them meat in due season. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. And doing what? The work. Right? We all know the parable of the what's it called? King, the head of the house, who went to a far country, being Yahweh Shai. All right, and the Lord left us with talents, man. He left us with things to do. All right. And he wants to find us doing those things when he comes back. He wants to find us flipping his money. Okay. Because if he comes back and he sees that you sat on your talent and you didn't do the things you're supposed to do, you didn't correct the things he told you to correct. All right. You're going to have a rude awakening, man. And you're going to get beat with more stripes because you knew better. It says, verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And this is the reward of those that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. All right. You're going to get an increase, man. So that's so many different things you're going to get just for doing what you were supposed to be doing. All right. But if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, all right, you're going to get the portion of a hypocrite, man. If you're not standing on the highways and byways, watching prophecy, seeking the Lord, examining yourself, warning the people, fasting, praying, trying to get better day by day and killing that old man, right? You're going to get tossed out, man. You got to be hot for this truth, man. The Lord said he doesn't want anybody lukewarm, right? So you have to be fully hot for this truth, fully engulfed into keeping your eyes on the prize, man. Right? Now, there's so much more we can go into with this video, so I'm going to do a part 2. But Lord willing, this first part was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakrash. All right. Shalom, Aki, Mababo. Slakia, Kwam Yasharala, Abhaba Ball, Chemotherapy 2026, man. Soon.